afternoon. Welcome to this broadcast of the PM Radio Westminster. This one is different. First, it's me and my colleague Theo presenting. We will start with our usual section on the news and we will comment on them. Then we are delighted to host our own Dr. Nick Lambrou to talk about the new PM Book Club.
Later, we are going to have an online competition in the form of a project management quiz. The prize is going to be the book that will be discussed in the book club, Virtual Leadership by Penny Pullen. So make sure that you will take part to our competition.
Each participant actually should send us now a text in the chat if they would like to participate in the quiz.
At the end, the participant who has the highest score, who answered the more right answers, will get the prize.
I'm looking forward to this, Thea. How are you today?
I'm great. We have some very interesting news to discuss.
Yes, indeed. So let's start the news then.
Some technical issues.
That's part of the news.
Sorry for that.
I think we have a little bit of mixture of news today. So we will be talking about generic stuff and we'll be talking about project-specific news as well. The way we collect news is, first of all, we look for the news related to project management in different sectors, construction, IT, and basically in the UK. We try to look at the UK in specific, but in the future we'll be looking globally, of course. So let's start with our news. Okay, we will start with something on artificial intelligence. This is an article from BBC website that reads, Microsoft is to replace dozens of contract journalists on its MSN website and use automated systems to select news stories, UK and US media report. The US tech giant Microsoft said in a statement, like all companies, we evaluate our business on a regular basis. This can result in increased investment in some places and from time to time, redeployment in others. These decisions are not the result of the current pandemic. Microsoft, like some other tech companies, pays news organizations to use their content on its website. But it employs journalists to decide which stories to display and how they are presented. Around 50 contract news producers lost their jobs in June, the Seattle Times reports, but a team of full-time journalists will remain. It's demoralizing to think machines can replace us, but there you go, one of those facing redundancy told the paper. Some SAC journalists warned that artificial intelligence may not be fully familiar with strict editorial guidelines and could end up letting through inappropriate stories. 27 of those losing their jobs are employed by the UK PA media, The Guardian reports. One journalist quoted in the paper said, I spend all my time reading about how automation and AI is going to take all our jobs. Now it has taken mine. Microsoft is one of many tech companies experimenting with forms of so-called robot journalism to cut costs. Google is also investing in projects to understand how it might work. In fact, Google has previously done the same in 2017 when they funded automated news projects where computers write 30,000 stories a month for local media. What do you think?
On the project management now, AI, it seems like it will not be stealing only journalists' jobs. Project managers are not safe either. ChatSpace is building the world's most experienced virtual project manager. ChatSpace, an enterprise AI startup, has today announced it is building the world's most experienced virtual project manager that will provide a solution to a market problem costing enterprises in Europe alone an overrun of 100 billion euros. The ChatSpace Virtual Project Portfolio Manager will be launched in September later this year and is a solution built to scale securely in the cloud or on-premise which ensures more successful outcomes on IT projects and frees up teams to focus more on customers, creativity, and new opportunities. With this new product, ChatSpace does the heavy lifting, says the CEO of the company, John Clancy. It virtually accompanies you, your project managers, to automate the mundane parts of the job, monitor group sentiment, and keep your team engaged and connected. Additionally, AI will proactively alert senior management to problems before they happen, ensuring successful outcomes. Founded in 2017, ChatSpace has successfully delivered AI projects to some of the world's largest companies like Nestle, Medtronic, and Atos. ChatSpace represents a new paradigm in enterprise project management. To Atos, it has meant increased efficiency, and critically, it is helping to shift the focus to what's most important for our clients, says the head of operations in Atos. So, what do you think, Danya? Do you imagine yourself hosting a robot as our guest one day?
That would be interesting, isn't it? Well, if he's good looking, he or she, we don't know what's the gender of a robot. But if it's good looking, that's fine by me.
It will be very hard to find a more good looking guest than Nick Lambrou we have later. So.
Oh, yeah. I agree. I totally agree with this. The following news is on the non-cheerful side, though. Theo, do you have friends who worked in oil and gas or who are still working?
I had some friends, but I befriended them once they had oil spills.
Okay. It looks like the whole industry, the oil and gas industry, is going through rough times, and not just because of COVID-19. BP is to slash 10,000 jobs to save $2.5 billion amid oil price slump. In April, the firm reported a record $4 billion quarterly loss, but maintained a dividend at 10.5 cents per share. Chief Executive Bernard Looney said most of them representing 15% of its workforce, these that are going to be sacked. They represent 15% of the workforce. These will be sacked by the end of the year, though, he noted, we will likely have to go even further. So that is not the end. The FTSE 100 listed firm is planning to chop 25% of its capital expenditure this year, saving $3 billion. Running the oil giant costs $22 billion per year. 8 billion of these are related to staff. The majority of people affected will be in office-based jobs, the CEO told employees in a webcast. We are protecting the front line of the company and, as always, prioritizing safe and reliable operations. In fact, the global oil and gas market began to weaken before the COVID-19 outbreak crashed the economy, providing bottom-line motivation for BP and other industry leaders to satisfy investors by shedding assets. That maneuvering has continued into 2020, and BP illustrates why renewable energy is poised to fill the vacuum. BP quits petrochemicals. Can you believe this? BP, actually, British Petroleum, is among the oil and gas giants pivoting to renewable energy. In some ways, it appears that the company is running ahead of schedule, even as the COVID-19 crisis continues to mount. On Monday, for example, this Monday, BP announced that it will sell practically all of its petrochemical business to the industry leader INEOS. The sale involves 14 plants in the US, Asia, and Europe. BP will retain just one facility in Germany as part of a refinery operation. BP describes the sale as the next strategic step in reinventing BP. They are reinventing the identity of the company. It comes a year earlier than BP's divestment plan calls for, though the actual transaction will not be finalized until the end of this year. Selling off an asset does not make it disappear, though. BP notes that global demand for plastics will continue to support the 14 petrochemical plants, particularly in Asia. To the extent that BP continues to supply oil and gas to those 14 plants and its remaining facility in Germany, the sale will not have an impact on the amount of carbon that BP contributes to the global load. So, is this yet another case of greenwashing? The article by Tina Casey on Triple Pundit says, in some ways, yes, BP enabled additional growth in the petrochemicals field earlier this year when it licensed its petrochemical technology to another firm. for the construction of a new petrochemical facility in China. Still, BP CEO Bernard Looney attempted to spin Monday's announcement as a net gain for a more sustainable circular economy. These businesses are leaders in their sectors, this world-class technologies, plants, and people. In recent years, they have improved performance to produce highly competitive returns and now have the potential for growth and expansions into the circular economy, he said. All in all, the effect in the long run would be to tamp down growth in demand for virgin oil and gas.
On a more cheerful note now, the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has set out his government's plan for nationwide economic recovery, saying it will build to deal with the damage caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. In a speech in the West Midlands in central England, he announced a multi-billion-pound New Deal for infrastructure projects to stimulate the UK economy. There will not, however, be new money for the scheme, but capital investment funding is to be made available earlier than planned. On the same lines, and on the construction front now, the Prime Minister announced that he would introduce the most radical reforms on our planning system since the end of World War II. Planning rules are set to change as part of a move to let construction drive the country's economic recovery. More specifically, the proposals that are set to come into force from September include builders no longer needing to submit planning applications to demolish and rebuild vacant and redundant residential or commercial buildings, if they are to rebuild as homes. Permission for a wider range of commercial buildings being converted into residential buildings without planning permission. And commercial premises are now able to be reclassified more easily as other types of building. Shops can become cafes or offices without having to gain planning permission, for example. All this is hoped to boost the economic recovery of the economy. However, not everyone is excited with the changes. Anna Dixon, Chief Executive of Charity, the Center for Aging Better, warned that relaxing planning rules should not lead to developers moving away from building homes for older and disabled people. Lack of accessible housing is a major problem in the UK, and we must not let the disruption of the COVID-19 crisis to distract the government from its mission to build more suitable homes.
Okay, interesting. But these relaxations, it looks like these relaxations have got both positive and negative sides. Theo, do you know how long does it take to get a planning permission originally?
It takes between 8 to 13 weeks, 8 if the project is simple, but it should not exceed 13 for large or complex projects.
Okay, so they are basically relaxing these now, saying you don't need to apply for planning permissions under specific circumstances, which probably give you quicker ways of constructing and building homes. So it could be good, looking at it from that perspective. Now, some good news here as well. So you talked about construction and building, the government, and talked about the government plans as well. On 27th of June, the gov.uk website said, government unveils £200 million package to help innovative businesses bounce back. The Sustainable Innovation Fund will help companies recovering from the impact of coronavirus keep their cutting-edge projects and ideas alive. That's good news. Innovative ideas and projects led by companies recovering from the impact of coronavirus will not be lost, thanks to a new £200 million fund launched on 27th of June. The government's Sustainable Innovation Fund will be open to companies across all parts of the UK who need urgent financial support to keep their cutting-edge projects and ideas alive. Funding totaling almost £200 million could go towards developing new technologies focused on making homes and offices more energy efficient to cut bills, creating groundbreaking medical technologies to treat infectious and diseases, or reducing the carbon footprint of public transport in our towns and cities. In a move to support people across the country to establish more climate-positive behaviors, businesses and the startups could also make use of the fund to develop smart sustainability-focused projects, from apps encouraging people to cut down their food waste to sustainable biodegradable packaging. The Sustainable Innovation Fund will help power the UK's economic recovery and develop new sustainable opportunities for businesses in any sector following the coronavirus pandemic, while helping the UK meet its ambitions to cut carbon emissions to net zero by 2050. This is a very big and ambitious aim. Business Secretary Alok Sharma said, "Our country is home to some of the world's most cutting-edge businesses that turn ingenious ideas into new technologies every day. That's why we are backing our innovators and risk takers with a new investment so they can recover and grow out of the coronavirus pandemic." So what do you think, Theo? Any ideas? I'm available as a partner for your new startup.
Well, my son starts his own business. He's building a lemonade stand. I don't know if he's looking for partners. We have to include the innovation element in there somehow. We will see how we can do that. Maybe online delivery for lemonade.
Oh, okay. You need to innovate more into it. But yeah, I can be a partner. I can have, for how much you think we should apply out of 200 million?
No, we will need less than that, hopefully. Going into our last important piece of news today in our industry, global project management software market is now expected to reach $7 billion in value by 2017 from 2.3 billion that accounted last year. That's a more than 14% annual growth rate, which is quite impressive. As a tool for organizing, managing work, the use of project management software continues to grow at a faster speed across all industries. As corporations develop in size and complexity, more all-inclusive solutions now are required to coordinate a complete organization's portfolio of projects. COVID-19 actually has boosted the transition to online integrated project management or portfolio management systems. These solutions are helping the management to shuffle, plan, budgets and resources, workload, and observes projects as they develop and report on their delivery success. Now to our next segment. Shall we go directly?
Yeah, actually, these were some very good news. And let's invite our guest. We have Dr. Nick Lambrou today with us. Okay, I'm going to Dr. Nick Lambrou.
There you go. Is that me?
Yes, that's you. Hello.
Hello. Will you check that I'm not a robot?
You look very fine. You look very fine today. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. So this is a little piece of music welcoming you. Well, next time we should ask the guest what they would like to listen to. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Probably you don't need introduction, Nick, but could you just please tell us a few things about what you do?
I'm a lecturer at University of Westminster. You are my colleagues, and we've got a project management master's. It started a few years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. And we are quite pioneering. We're trying to be pioneering. And recently we signed on to the Responsible Project Management Manifesto itself. Our Vice Chancellor has done that. And we are sort of going upwards and onwards and whatever. We are very proud of the Masters itself. And we are partnering with PMI. We are partnering with APM. And we are trying our best to make the world slightly better. That is, I think, what we are thinking.
Yeah, indeed.
It is a great initiative, Nick, and I think your T-shirt is further advertising this. But this is not the only initiative we have been involved lately. Earlier, we announced that we are offering to the winner of our competition today a book. Can you tell us about your book club initiative? A few words.
This is the book. Is this upside down?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Yes, my colleague Himanshu is the brain behind this one. Himanshu Jain, who is working with us, and he is an active member of PMI himself and doing much more than what I am doing actually. And we thought we should make a book club and discuss books, project management and leadership books, because we love books, we love project management, and we thought that we could have a nice atmosphere and essentially talk about maybe up to 6 books a year. And hopefully, and that is our sort of selling added value proposition, if you wish, try and bring the author in the sessions. We are hoping to have 3 sessions per book. And in the 3rd session, when we have read the book and discussed the book, whoever is interested in all that, have a question and answer with the author himself or herself. And we are very lucky to have got the agreement of Penny to come and talk to us on the 3rd session itself. We are book lovers. We think that we should not forget the humanity of the process and of the project management process. It was quite interesting to see all the news about robots and artificial intelligence. Somewhere we have to keep a balance towards the human and the humanity of things, and therefore trust and things like that, and responsibility. And we think that is part of that sort of a human fight back. I am a science fiction.
No, but I think this is important because nobody reads these days. It's all Google, social media. It's very difficult to get hold of a copy. Even if you want to buy a book, usually I find myself, I've always preferred hard copies, but nowadays I find myself reading from computer or from iPad or from tablets all the time, which make it less intimate, but at least I'm reading. I think this is a very good initiative to promote reading in general. But Nick, can I ask you about the audience of your initiative? So is it open to anybody, or does it have to be project management community?
We are hoping it will be open to everybody. Indeed, it will be advertised through PMI's Eventbrite website. So it is really something that is much bigger. It is bigger than the university, it's bigger than responsible project management itself. It is actually out there with the Project Management Institute itself. So we are hoping and expecting that we will have an audience from everywhere. These will be book lovers. We do like reading books, but as many things that we are doing today with all these in the virtual world and the IT world and the AI world and the new this and new that we are coming into, we actually, our audience doesn't actually have to read the book, in the sense that we will go through the book. That is why, as a book club, we want people to read the book, we encourage people to read the book, but if they do not read the book, they may come in and listen into the book, not the book itself. We're not going to read the book out. This is not a reading club, it's a book club about the book, but we will welcome people to just come in and listen about the book. In this case, for example, our first book is Virtual Leadership. There are many ideas here about what to do and how to run and operate in the virtual world that the pandemic has forced us into. And it is beautiful to see that there is a book here that was written well before the pandemic itself. And it is almost as if it anticipated the pandemic. And there are many ideas here how to conduct meetings in a virtual world, how to retain trust, how to make sure that everybody feels comfortable in the team, and all the team ideas that this book has themselves are nice little morsels for project management. We are not defocusing from project management and leadership all the time. So we want book lovers, even if they don't read the book, see the film of the book or whatever.
Okay, talking about books, Nick, is it something you're reading at these days?
I thought you would. I actually have some books next to me. I've just lost my Aristotle just to show off. But there are other books we are thinking of bringing in. There is a book on sprint, a method of developing fast systems and all that, which is lovely. There is What Philosophy Can Teach You About Being a Virtual Leader, another book by Kogan Press. Kogan Press actually has some very nice books. We've got little books like The Tyranny of Metrics and all that. And I'm showing these. You asked me if I'm reading them. I hope to read them. Otherwise, I'll join the book club to hopefully someone else will have read them for me. But at the moment, as my students would almost understand, What Philosophy Can Teach You to Become a Better Leader is one I'm looking forward to reading on my holiday, which I don't know when it will be.
Okay.
A virtual holiday.
Yeah, isn't it? We are all having virtual holidays this summer, and the weather is not helping at all as well. Nick, so would you be able to remember a book that changed the way you think about project management or project managers, or the job of project managers? A book that changed the way you perceive this world?
It's interesting. Actually, I believe project management is an important subject, and therefore the person who is a project manager must have a strategic view. So I'm feeling that everything I have read from everywhere actually is contributing to me as a person and therefore as a project manager. And I find I'm quoting books that I don't even remember having read every now and then. I am personally interested in history and the history of ideas, and I can see project management itself being an old idea re-represented, but also project management is the way through new projects to produce the future ideas. So it is quite an interesting subject in itself. I do have certain books from literature that obviously guide my way of thinking. Some of them, particularly the one that has come up recently, is 1984, George Orwell's.
I'm reading that one.
That's lovely, but
Yeah.
the reason it has appeared is that reappeared not only because of the connotations, and it seems to be always relevant with Big Brother and all that, but that George Orwell himself went and isolated himself in an island somewhere up in Scotland to write it. So he did write it in isolation. He was also sick at the time. So it is a book that has come out of an isolated environment, slightly more than usual. So in that respect, I would quote that book. Since you asked me to quote one book, I'll quote that one.
Okay. So I'll keep on. Theo, do you have a question for Nick?
Yes, I was about to ask how isolation works for Nick. Does it make him more productive?
Actually, how big is our audience? I do not like the new normal. I do not like isolation, even though I am a lonely person and I like being alone. The fact that I cannot move as much as I like and I cannot see actual people, and everything I see, most of the people I see through a screen is something that I hope will go away soon. But I was hoping to read more, but I'm not reading more. I find I'm playing more computer games, which is always time consuming, but not useful.
Are you becoming good at these games?
No, actually, and I'm trying to play the easy games. I'm not fighting with anybody online or anything.
I wanted to ask you, Nick, since you mentioned isolation and Theo mentioned productivity. If you have the time and the energy to write a book, what would it be on?
Oh, blimey.
Or maybe several books, not just one.
If there is one in me, that would be quite a lot, actually. I'm very impressed with people who write and write continuously, and I admire them. If I had a book, it would be something on project management and on all these new ideas. For example, at this moment, I'm thinking on agile, for example. Why is agile actually not new, and also why we should continue and persevere with agile. Yes, this idea, this historical idea that something new replaces something old. My idea is the idea of science that one idea adds to the previous ones, doesn't replace them. And this idea of change suddenly and we will be totally different is something that I object to. But without the push of the change, you cannot actually progress.
I agree. I totally agree. I think
Indeed.
Theo agrees as well. Things happen gradually. They don't just, but because they emerge because of the complexity of our world, because they emerge, we feel that they are happening out of the sudden, but it's actually the interaction, the dynamics of the system we live in. And this is what makes them emerging. But in fact, they are actually gradually developing and progressing over time.
I guess this is a pattern. You mentioned earlier Aristotle. I'm pretty sure many writers feel that already everything has been said, has been written maybe even 1,000 years ago, but is the reality that changes that makes these things relevant again and again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Indeed, and the context of the reinterpretation of things, and when we throw an idea away, we have to understand why we are throwing it away. Why is it no longer relevant?
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you some technical question though about the book club, because we are getting, I think we are nearly there to start the competition in a few minutes. But let me ask you before, so that our audience know, how would you do the book club right now? Is it going to be virtual? So you will have an online conference or something and ask people to read? And how are you going to meet later to discuss?
Yes, it will be virtual. Indeed, even when we come back to the physical world, there will be virtual audience also. That is, we will be both virtual and physical. Himanshu has set up a set of rules, which I have sent you, and I hope you will publish. We will have 3 sessions per book, about 2.5 hours altogether, the sessions. In the first session, we will introduce the book itself, and we will discuss it with whoever wants to participate in the discussion. Actually, we do want 2 volunteers to help us in that, and we will be looking for students or alumni to help us on that. And then in the second session, we will go through the book, the whole book itself, discuss questions and answer. In between, like in a good virtual team, in between, we will want people to read, we will want people to post questions to be discussed and things like that, so that it will be lively throughout. The meetings will be every 2 weeks, I think.
Okay.
So first meeting for this book will be the 28th of July at 5 o'clock, because we want to catch people in India and we want to catch people in at least in Eastern time. We will discuss the book, and then in the second session, 15 days later, we will discuss the questions that have appeared, and in another 15 days later, 14 days later, we will have the author to participate and ask questions. This particular book has a website. The website is thevirtualleadershipbook.com, and people can go there. They can also find a 20% discount in buying the book itself. on that website, and we will publish the name itself. We are going to give the book itself as a prize to 3 through a raffle, so people who are joining us will participate in a raffle on the 3rd session. We are hoping that maybe PMI will sanction the raffle, the prizes themselves. We are not sure if these will be e-books or actual paper books.
Yeah.
But all we want is an atmosphere of discussion. And we're hoping that people will come in with a glass of wine or a glass of cocoa. Some people don't drink wine, and just talk as if we are discussing something that we love, and we will change that love 6 times a year.
Excellent. So just to sum it up, people who would like to join, they can go to the PMI website.
Eventbrite, yes, which is what PMI uses, yes.
Eventbrite, yeah. And you need volunteers.
PMI UK.
Oh, okay, PMI UK. And if someone would like to volunteer, should they contact you or Himanshu by email?
Or you or Theo, yes, we will put out an official call. We will start with our students, but we are hoping, we're trying to create a project management community through educational establishments.
Yeah.
And all that. One of the authors of this book works at Halt University, for example, so we hope to maybe invite her next. And all that. So we want all students actually, and all project management alumni to have access to these things.
Excellent. Actually, it's good that we have Himanshu with us today also, and probably he would like to say a few words. Himanshu, would you like to say a few words quickly about this? It will be great to hear about PMI contribution.
Yes, thank you, Dania, and thank you, Theo. Thank you, Nick, for that wonderful introduction to the book club. So the basic idea behind the book club is, while we are having all of these digital events, what's lacking or what's limited, if not lacking, is interaction and networking. And we are hoping that by having the book club, we'll not only learn new things, but also have the interactions and networking with peers in the industry. So that's that was the basic idea of why we wanted to have the book club. We have been very fortunate, and Nick and I have had a few discussions around it, and we've been very fortunate to have already a lineup of few authors who would like to participate in this. And the first one is Virtual Leadership by Penny Pullen, and she's very excited to be part of this because this is something new that we are trying, that has kind of is not available as a webinar or a seminar.
Thank you. Thank you, Himanshu, and thank you for organizing this and initiating this. This is very, I think it's going to be very useful. And thank you for joining us as well and telling us about this. Nick, we will be starting the competition in a few seconds. So I just would like to say thank you for joining us today. And also a note, whoever wins in our competition, our PM quiz in a few minutes, will get a hard copy of the book, not a soft copy, a hard copy. Okay? And yes, exactly. So they will be ready to join your club if, of course, if they want to. And I encourage everybody, I will be joining as well. Theo, what about you?
Thank you very much, Nick and Himanshu. We look forward to attend your meetings. And I think we're ready to go for our competition. Yeah. What do you think, Dania?
Yeah.
So shall we try ourselves first to show people how it works?
let me explain it briefly. So we've got already people sending us invitations. Sorry, not invitations. Texts via the chat that they want to participate in the competition, which is great. So we already have people lining up. Let me describe the competition to you. So what will happen is we will activate your audio once we say your name that you are now going to speak. We will activate your audio. Then you will answer a set of 10 questions within 2 minutes. You will be timed for 2 minutes to answer as many as you can. Of course, you will be scored on correct answers, and the winner will be the one with the highest score. So if you don't know the answer to the question, you can just say pass so that you can answer as many as you can. So that's simply, it's the competition. Okay, so everybody with us as audience, if you'd like to participate for the book, to win the book of virtual leadership, please send us now. Theo?
Are you ready, Danya? Are you ready? Are you ready for a short round?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I will go easy on you.
Okay.
Okay, so in contracts and procurement, what PPP stands for?
Oh, public-private partnership.
Good one. Planned resource investigator, shaper, coordinator, all these are examples of what?
Belbin team roles.
Good. What is the most expensive infrastructure project program today in England?
Oh, that's high speed too, for sure. I don't know how much though, but it's very expensive.
Well, at the moment it's 88.7 and counting. So, and accept, transfer, reduce, exploit, enhance, or these are strategies of?
Risk response.
Well done. And last one, COVID-19 has forced many project teams to become virtual, global, or cross-functional.
Virtual, of course. Virtual, of course.
Okay.
Okay, that's where these are very easy questions.
Yes.
Are the rest the same? I've actually prepared.
No, we have some harder ones.
Yeah. But there are some easy ones as well. Okay, let's see who is with us. Let me see who will be joining us first. We've got Ben. Okay, Ben, are you ready? Let me unmute Ben. We will ask you to share your audio.
Can you hear us, Ben? Ben, you need to unmute yourself. I think there is a technical issue with Ben. Maybe we should go with our second contestant and then Ben.
Okay, we have Maud as well. She's willing to participate. Let's see.
Hello.
Hello, Maud. How are you?
Hello, Maud.
I'm good, and you?
We are fine. Thank you for joining us today. How are you? Good?
Good. Thank
you.
you.
Okay, let me just upload. It's easy if you look at the questions, basically. So I'm going to share this with you. Can you see the screen? So the questions will appear on the screen. Can you see it?
Okay.
Okay. We will read them anyway, so you will be able to listen to the questions, but also we thought it's easy if you look at them as well on the screen. But we will read them out loud and they will be very short questions. Okay?
Okay. How many questions you said?
10, and it's in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes. Okay, Maud? Okay, we will not going to tell you if it's correct or if it's right or wrong. Just answer and we will ask you the next question immediately. Okay, we will tell everybody at the end whether they answered correctly or not. Okay?
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, so that's number, yeah, you've got the first one. When was the Gantt chart or bar chart first developed? 1896, 1901, or in 1972?
I'll say 1972.
Okay, name 2 specialized scheduling software packages that exist in the market.
Pass.
Okay, what are the triple constraints in project management known as?
Cost, time, and quality.
What do we call them? What do you call this?
The Iron Triangle.
amount of time. The amount of time by which an activity could be delayed without affecting the starting time of the subsequent activity is called?
A slack?
Which one? Quickly.
Free slack.
Okay, a recently developed concept that is based on the UN Sustainable Development 17 goals.
Responsible project management.
Okay, COVID-19 has forced many project teams to become virtual. Global. Okay, true or false? If the total float of an activity is 0, the free float must be 0 too. Is this true or false?
True.
Okay, and then in contracts and procurement, what does PPP stand for?
Public partnership or something like this.
Okay.
Private partnership.
Okay, good. And A Very Rare Bird, a movie starring Natalie Portman and a book by Nassim Taleb. What is it?
I know it in French.
A Very Rare Bird and a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, and name 3 project management professional bodies.
PMI, APM, yeah.
Okay, finishing.
Yeah,
I'm nearly there.
This is Swan, this one. Number 9 is Swan.
Okay.
And then IPMI, APM.
Okay, time is out. Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
But thank you very much, Maud. You found them easy or difficult?
I wouldn't say they are too difficult. It's mainly the time that you need to.
Yes, it's the timing. It's the timing.
Yeah, it's just the time is challenging, I would say.
It's the timing. Yeah, that's true. Thank you very much. Thank you, Maud. Okay.
You're welcome.
Let's see who else. Okay. Rogerio. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna unmute Rogerio. Rogerio, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Hi, how are you? All good?
Yes, good.
Perfect. Okay, let's see. Got 2 minutes. Okay, what does PESTEL stand for?
Political, economic, social, technological, I don't remember, environmental and legal.
Okay, what is the best known professional certificate by PMI? What do we call it?
PMP.
Okay, earned value analysis. Okay, yeah, earned value analysis is a technique to schedule activities, monitor performance, plan benefits.
To monitor performance.
Okay, which of the 3 project constraints is flexible when following an agile methodology?
Oh, it's done the quiet time and I don't remember. What's the
Pass?
No, pass this one.
Okay, waterfall, agile, and hybrid. What are these?
These are project management methodologies.
True or false, project success is completion within the iron triangle, whereas project management success is achieving benefits. True or false?
Yes, true.
Okay. True or false, if the free float of an activity is 0, the total float must be 0 too.
That's true as well.
Accept, transfer, reduce, exploit, enhance, avoid. Are all strategies of or for?
Risk management.
Okay. And finally, name the first book that will be read in the book club. Not too much to go. 5 seconds.
Creative, I don't remember, leadership.
And
no,
okay,
leadership
time is
something.
up, sorry. Okay, thank you very much, Rogerio. You said leadership, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us and stay online to see what did you score. Thank you. All right. Okay, Ben is already texting us and he's saying the audio is not working. That's a shame, Ben. He wanted to participate. And someone else Oh, okay. I've got two messages saying that they are unable to use the audio, which is very strange. I don't know why. I think we should be able to find a better way of participation. Sometimes if you dial from your mobile phone, it's easier because you can only get to the audio part of it. So when we send you invitations, you can dial the telephone number, and you can participate with your audio only. So I guess since we've got only 5 minutes left on our show today, so I don't think we can take any more anyway. Theo, how is it looking?
Well, all three participants, they did quite well. But one of them did a little bit better. So Maud, our first participant, is the winner.
Yes.
Congratulations, Maud.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Maud. You are with us, so can you please tell us a few things about yourself?
So I've been working with all of you this year because I was attending the Master Project Management at the University of Westminster. Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm from France and I'm in UK for 5 years, and I'm obviously gonna look for a job after we finish this year. And that's pretty much it. I'm locked like all of you for now. Working on my dissertation on responsible project management in construction. So by the way, if you have any project manager in construction which are could actually participate in my interview, please let me know.
Of course. I think it's a good way of networking, and then you are advertising it very well on because I'm the supervisor of Maud, so she's my student, and I'm actually glad that you won this one. I didn't give you any hints or any. She didn't know anything about the questions. She just wanted to participate. So thank you for participating, and all the best on your dissertation as well, which is a very important topic. Responsible project management. Thank you very much, Maud. And please send us in the chat, or you can email me here with your home address so we can send you the book. Okay?
Okay, I'll send it in the chat now. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, Theo, how did that go? What do you think?
I think beside the technical issues,
yes.
we had.
It's a shame though we couldn't take more.
No.
I've got actually Ben, and I've got one more participant, but it's okay. They got disconnected anyway. It seems that they've got problems with their network.
But it was very close. It was very close. It was one question difference, and all contestants did pretty well, which is very good thing to see, as many of them have studied in our department.
Yes, indeed. I think it's also a good gift if they want to participate in the book club. This is a good start because they will already have the book.
And they have sorted out their summer reading already, probably not by the beach, or it's going to be more challenging at least, but at least they have the book.
True, that's true. Okay, so I think we are approaching in our last minute, basically. We have an announcement before we complete this broadcast. This initiative has started 2 months ago, is it? It started in May, and I think it's got a very strong potential. But this will be our last broadcast for this summer. But we will return. Theo, when are we returning?
We are returning in September, so don't get very emotional. Wait for us to be back with more project management news, talks, discussions, and guests who are going to debate a number of interesting topics.
Sure. We started with this initiative being twice a month, every 2 weeks, but right now we are making it once a month, so we can have more preparation, we can have more interesting topics. Of course, you can give us some feedback if you want to listen to specific topics. So we'll be in September, 24th, I guess, every Thursday as well, every Thursday of the last Thursday of each month, September, November, October and November, and January, February, March and April. So we've got this big program planned with topics and speakers, but you can also suggest if you would like to listen to specific people or to specific debates.
And in the meantime, of course, you can always contact both Tanya and myself via LinkedIn or email. So we will maintain a channel of communication open throughout the summer.
True. For any feedback or any suggestion, any questions, please, yes, email me or send us a text via LinkedIn. So until September, we wish you a healthy and sunny summer, hopefully. From us at PM Radio Westminster, best regards and goodbye.
And see you back in September.